Alrighty, welcome back to this project. I want to start today by doing a shout out to Sowing Seeds Lawn Service. That's Steve up there, or wherever it is that he is. And his channel is not only lawn care, but also you'll see him doing repairs and maintenance and everything. So check him out for sure. I'll have the link in the description. And go subscribe and have a good time over there. Anyway, I want to get to this project. First thing I've got to do, of course, is get the water off the deck again because it's been raining. And then gonna start with the air hammer, I think, here today, and get some of this bigger stuff off of there. And then I hope to be able to run the sandblaster again. But oh yeah, check this out. I found this out last time. Look how bad one of these was. This one. Look at that. In case anybody is new to this series, I do have 3 brand new spindles, and this is an example of the reason why. Look at that. That was just I mean, not too much longer, that was going to break loose. So, yeah, just sharing that. This is what I showed before. Pretty bad, but I hadn't realized that one of them was this bad. It's crazy. Anyway, I can't hold on to it with the camera and everything. Over here, I wanted to share, this is what I'm running into. So I have had this sand in the hot shed all week long, trying to dry it out, and when I checked on it this morning, it is absolutely still soaking wet, just as wet as it was last time. So what I've done here is I've spread it out all over this. This is an old sleep number bed. I just have it out here for the kids to play at. But it is black and it's attracting all kinds of sun. And I spread the sand out in hopes that I can dry it out by the time I sandblast. This is getting ridiculous. But it is a very sunny day, so I think I have a good chance at it. And I'll just work on, let's see, I will work on air hammering the deck really good and drying it off and getting ready for sandblasting while this sand dries. So I guess that's what's going to be next. Okay, so what that was one of these, kind of a hand grip, hand nut. It was holding on a cover that was covering the, the pulley there. And it was absolutely never going to come off. It kept on breaking as I was trying to take it off, so I was like, well, let me just try this impact hammer. And that sure did the trick. So these are useless now. Okay guys, I think I'm done with the impact hammer. It certainly did a good job cleaning up. Can't see the screen, so I don't know what I'm pointing at. But I still have these big layers of paint. It was kind of neat when it was doing that. The impact hammer will strip it off, but it's slow. And I was just using this scraper down here and a hammer, and it was taking off sheets of it pretty quick. It's a little hard to do, but it'll look good in a time lapse. So I think that's how I'm gonna take all the paint off the front here. By the way, this weld here is a very old weld. That weld had opened up. It was wide open, like a good 1/4 inch, and dirt and grass. Listen to that. It's the ice cream truck. What perfect timing. Anyway, I had it welded. Okay. Okay, so I had reviewed it on the camera, and it looked so cool what I did over there that I decided to keep filming. When you speed it up, it looks really cool. Everything came off except for the end here. I don't know what the story is here. This stuff is like petrified. But it'll be no match for the sandblaster. Now over here, I just got to do this part, then I'm done with that kind of stuff. Okay, I finally have some dry sand, at least this section anyway. We'll get the rest of those clumps out of there. They're all dry, and I'll put it in the bucket and we'll be ready to sandblast. Okay, but I don't want to do it that close to the shed. I could close the door. I don't know, look at all this stuff out here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that deck out farther into the yard out there. So that begs the question, can I pick it up? I think I can. Let's try. Okay guys, I'm having trouble with the sandblaster. It worked fine before. I don't know, I've done whole trailers with this, but you get the idea. Strips all the rust off, gets you down to bare metal. It will take the paint off, it just takes longer. But you know, I have that rust inhibitor. I think I'm just kind of looking for smooth, and then I'll put that on, and then a whole bunch of primer, and then paint. But you know what, I'm so nervous about the sand near the camera and blasting all over the place. I just don't want the sand in the camera. I lost a camera one time this way, took it to the beach, never worked again. So I am not going to film the sandblasting, I don't think, anymore. I don't know, I might change my mind, but you might just see the next step. Okay, so clearly I figured it out. What it was, the when I put the new ceramic tip in there, that's that white part in there. It's got a rubber gasket around it. Well, also you have to wrap, oh, what is that? That plumber's tape around that. I've completely forgot the name of it. But the white tape that you put around all the threads and everything like that, you've got to build it up around that gasket that's on that ceramic tip. Otherwise, too much air goes by. And the old one was wrapped, so I just put the old one back on, and we're back in business. And it's doing good. But you know, I know what y'all are wondering. What will it do to a soda can? So I put one on one of those posts, and we're gonna find out. Okay, so that's what happens to a soda can. Kind of weird, I didn't quite expect it to react like that. By the way, I am not right next to it. I am actually right here. And you know what? I am getting sand all over the camera, even this far away. So this is the end of the sandblasting. But I'll give you a closer look at that can. Okay, so this is what it did to it. Let me try to get it out of the shadow. Not gonna be able to do that, isn't that great? I'll put it over here and I'll zoom into there. Yeah, I was trying to burst a hole all the way through it, and it didn't quite want to do that. Just kind of wrinkled up and weird, huh? So that's what it does to aluminum. Anyway, I am not going to film the rest of this. I gotta get this camera to safety. But you know, I will film painting and stuff, I think. Okay, here's your basic sandblasted deck. Just basically sandblasted. I was really glad that I thought of the air hammer to chisel big stuff off, because it's going to help out a lot. I know we got a lot of divots and craters and edges and so on, but we got big stuff off. Scraped all that paint off the front. Scraped it all. Whoop, there goes the camera. Scraped it all off the front. Sandblasted lightly, but what, you know, sandblaster's not working the way it did last time I used it. But it's ready for some paint. I mean primer. And so before the sun goes down here, I can try to get something on it. I'm going to start with this Permatex stuff. Rust treatment. I know what you're thinking, it's not big enough to cover the whole thing, but whatever it covers, it's going to cover. I've got a big can of Rust-Oleum double thick primer that'll go on after that. So let's see what happens. Okay, so look at that. Now, okay, so I sprayed the stuff on there. I sprayed the whole can on there. And it actually did cover the whole thing. It covered the whole thing 3 times. And at first it just looked wet. But now it's turning black. And what do you know, I was just reading the can, and it is supposed to turn black. So, ironically, this looks worse than when I started. But it has to dry for at least 24 hours. So, I think that's it for this episode. I will probably come out in a day or two and get the primer on it. And then there's going to be probably a couple of coats of primer and sanding in between before I go to put paint on. So yeah, it's taken longer than I thought to, but what can you do? Anyway, thanks for watching.